One famous structural change model is the Lewis two-sector model. Structural change models and the Lewis theory of development is no different. They are models that attempt to explain the change in the structural makeup, the mix of sectors that takes place during the process of development. The Lewis two-sector model tries to explain how a developing economy goes from being based on mainly traditional subsistence agriculture to being a more diverse economy with a focus on manufacturing industries. The basic setup of the model is that countries has two broad sectors, a traditional agricultural sector and a modern industrial sector. The traditional agricultural, the subsistence sector, uses traditional methods of production and, importantly, the rural area is overpopulated in the sense that there is surplus labor. And the importance of assuming surplus labor is that agricultural workers can actually leave farming without actually reducing the level of output. The modern industrial sector is instead a highly productive urban industrial sector in which capitalists combine capital with unskilled workers to produce manufacturing goods. The key assumption of the model is that with more labor entering the industrial sector, profits increase, and these profits are then reinvested into new capital. This is key. As investment leads to more capital, the capitalists need more workers, which is easily available due to the surplus labor in agriculture. And as workers go from being unproductive, remember surplus labor does not add any output, to being productively employed in the modern industrial sector, national output increases and therefore output or income per capita increases, economic growth. And this cycle will continue until all surplus agricultural workers have migrated to the urban industrial sector, which of course means that the economy is now an industrialized country. At first glance, the Lewis model of development does seem to fit the general experience of economic growth in countries, both Western countries in the past and in developing nations more recently. However, some of the model's assumptions do not fit institutional and economic reality in contemporary developing nations. For example, the model assumes that all capital owner profit is not only reinvested in the modern sector, which is questionable, but also that the new capital embodies the same technology. That is, new capital is not labor saving. The new machines always need the same number of workers, which is often not true in the real world due to technological progress. Also, the model assumes that there is surplus labor in the rural sector, but full employment in the urban sector. This is simply not true and does not match the experience of many countries. There is often a high level of unemployment in the urban areas. To conclude, the Lewis two-sector model focuses on the structural change that we observe during development. That is the fact that the modern industrial sector increases in importance while the agricultural sector contracts. The model works because of two key assumptions. One, there is surplus labor in the agricultural sector, and two, all profits are reinvested into the modern sector. Like Rostow and Harry DeMar, Lewis therefore believed that the central fact of economic development is rapid capital accumulation. Hence, Lewis also focused on how to add more capital, more machines to an existing and unproductive labor force.